Okay guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. I'm recording this on Thursday again, but obviously by the time you watch it, it will indeed be Friday. So how the hell are you? I hope you're all staying safe and looking after each other and basically, doing okay. I'm absolutely fine. Weather-wise, it's kind of been a real mixed bag of weather. I mean, we've had a couple of scorching days this week, and we've had a couple of absolutely horrendous. It's like back to winter. I mean, was it yesterday? I think it was. I've never driven in rain like it. I mean, it literally rained for about 2 days solid. So it was kind of quite treacherous driving to and from work. Job-wise, absolutely loving it. I really am. I mean, I don't want to go talking too soon, but I can honestly say I've never worked in such a kind of welcoming place. I've been really made to feel welcome. Everybody's lovely. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, when you start a new job, everybody is always nice to you. And that's true. But speaking to lots of different people, they've all said the same thing. I mean, I was talking to one girl and she said, out of all her working life, she's been working for 30 odd years. She says she has she's never worked in a place that is friendly and makes people feel welcome. You're just, although we've all got different jobs, you're just kind of part of a big team, and that's absolutely awesome. Excuse me, I'm just going to pause that video there for a second. So yeah, really enjoying my job. I mean, I've got to get up quite early. Nothing outrageous. I've got to get up about 6:45. There's a bit of mileage. I suppose if there was anything at all, the distance is a slight pain in the neck. But you know what? It's about 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. By the time you put the radio on, you're home before you know it. So really enjoying it, and I've got a good feeling that it's going to work out really well. So that's kind of a big thing for me. I mean, you're all kind of aware of the way things have gone in the work front for me over these last couple of years. I've not been that lucky with things, so I've got a good feeling about this, and fingers crossed it is all going to work out. So yeah, that's kind of been it. I've not been doing a hell of a lot. I've not even been playing any games. In fact, I said to my daughter tonight, I bought, what did I buy? I bought Last of Us 2, and we have literally played about 20 minutes of it, if that. And my daughter wanted to play it with me, so trying to get her and I to sit down at the same time and play it has been next to impossible. But it kind of makes me realise that I shouldn't go buying games brand new. I mean, I bought it when it came out. I don't know what it was, 40 quid, 45 quid, something like that. But I've not been playing it. I'd be far better to wait until it gets released second hand and pick it up. And it doesn't help the fact that there's been, apparently my daughter's already read the ending, because some numpty was posting the ending on the interweb. So that's a wee bit annoying, but I've told her not to, obviously, let me know what happens. So yeah, as is gaming wise, I've not been doing a great deal. I mean, I've got the MAME cab over there. I've not played it. In fact, I tell a lie, but the only game I've really been playing in the last 7 days is Raiden, which was the high score kerfuffle game picked by, I can't actually remember who picked it, but really good game. I thought I was quite good at it. I am absolutely pants compared to most people. I think my highest was about 58,000, something like that. And some of the big scores that some of you guys are putting in, just absolutely incredible. I mean, it's at the end of the first level, you get these two big tanks, and I simply could not get past them at all. Like I said, I always think I'm quite good at shoot 'em ups, but I just realised that I'm absolutely pretty pish at them. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Video games, it's all about enjoying playing it, and I absolutely do. So that's kind of been the only video games I've been playing. Really not had a chance to play much at all. I mean, I don't actually know where my week's gone. It's been a really kind of quick week, as it always seems to be. Monday comes, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend, and then that goes in really quick, and then before you know it, you're back to kind of a new week again. So that's really been that. The nights are fair drawn in. It is starting to get darker that wee bit early. I mean, what's the time just now? It's 8 It's still light, but I mean, give it another couple of months, and it's going to be dark. I think when you get to October, that's when the clocks go back. Yeah, the clocks go back, and that's when it starts. That's when it's basically permanent darkness, which I absolutely detest with a passion. So apart from that, I've not been doing a great deal. A massive thanks to Polly Moz. If you watch my channel, chances are you probably know about a rather long video that we put together last weekend or the weekend before, a 12-hour marathon live stream. Now, unfortunately, for whatever reason, the streaming software that I was using basically cut the video from 12 hours and 21 minutes and it cut it to 12 hours. But then, for whatever reason, YouTube only put it in. In fact, I actually since found out that YouTube apparently can only, I think 12 hours is the longest video you can make. Though I have seen videos that go on for like 24 hours, so I'm really not too sure what's going on there. But yeah, rather annoyingly, YouTube cut the video by, it cut it to 12 hours, which basically meant the last 21 minutes was missing. But fortunately, Paulie Moz has managed to. He was actually, I don't know why you were recording it, Paul, but for whatever reason, thank you very much. Paul's managed to record the last half an hour. It does kind of stutter a wee bit towards the end, it kind of buffers, but you know what? You kind of get the gist of it. So what I'm going to do, I've already downloaded the 12-hour video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it. I'm going to splice the 12 hour and the half an hour together, and then I'm going to re-upload it, and it's just basically going to be the definitive 12-hour stream. In case you haven't watched it and you really want to watch a 12-hour stream of me playing games and interviewing lots of wonderful people, then you can watch it in its entirety. I've got to say, I am stupidly proud about how that video went. I mean, massive thanks to Panther UK. I couldn't have done it without his assistance. Just having him in the stream, to keep me company, and when I was going for a push, he was able to kind of hold the fort. Really good at Chris. So that was excellent. The great news is we've hit £1,000. £1,000, £1,000. That's awesome. I mean, as we all know, we all get asked to donate to charities all the time. We're constantly getting bombarded for charity requests in real life. Then you get some people, some YouTubers who put out a GoFundMe to buy them hardware for the computer, which I just think, I'm sorry, but I really think that's a bad thing to do. Asking the members of the public to fund purchases for your own computer. Nah, that's don't like that at all. Naming no names, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I've mentioned that, but £1,000 is just incredible. I mean, when I first mentioned about doing the live stream, I mean, like I said, it was kind of a sort of a joke. It was Mappy24 suggested, why don't you play China Miner for 24 hours or for 12 hours and for charity? And I says, well, give me £200 and we'll do it. And like I said, it just grew arms and legs, and before I knew it, we had all these cracking guests coming on, and I think it went amazingly well. When you consider it was all live, I think there was very few mess ups along the way. The biggest mess up was probably the what do you call it, parallax gate, parallax tune with Lakosa, Panther and myself. Absolutely priceless. That's probably my favourite bit of the video. Just I literally lost, I just couldn't stop laughing, and then of course Mr. Lakosa, he buckled as well. Just fantastic. Really, that's, you wouldn't have got that if it had been recorded. The chances are I would have probably edited it out, which would have been a shame, because it was live. I was going to say live TV. It was live broadcast, and having stuff like that is just absolutely epic. But yeah, if I had raised £200, I'd have been blown away. I thought that was amazing. But to raise £1,000, which works out at £333 for each charity. I'm super excited about giving the money. In fact, tonight I had to put my bank details into Just Giving. I've got 22. There's 22 days left for the charity thing to run, so people can still technically donate. I don't really expect anybody's going to put anything in now because it's been absolutely epic. But I've got to wait the 22 days to expire, and then I can transfer the money to my own bank account. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the bank, get them to write 3 cheques, and then I'm going to go along and basically present them. I will try and get some photos, just to kind of show me doing that. So again, a massive thanks to everybody, not just those that gave money. It was an entirely optional thing. If you gave money, thank you very, very much. You're absolutely wicked. Everybody that watched it, everybody that supported it, everybody that took part in it, you were all absolutely superheroes in my eyes. So yeah, that was it. That was a live stream. Like I say, it's not been doing a great deal. She's playing the high score kerfuffle. That's kind of been it, really. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to bore the arse off you. I'm just going to crack on with the comments from last week. And Andy, beard's a bit dark, Al, starting to look like a clip-on. Being great at 52 is not shameful, embrace it. And I noticed 6 people liked Andy's comment. As I've said, guys, I don't make any bones about it. I dye this thing, as it's probably noticeable. I don't think it looks quite so bad now. I normally dye it sort of dark brown, medium brown, but Amazon basically didn't have any of my dyes, so it was black. And I have to say, the reason it was so dark in last week's Friday Waffle and during the live stream was because I'd put ink, I'd put the dye on my beard, and then somebody phoned me, and I basically forgot that I had the dye in my beard. And then when I hung up the phone, I remembered, and basically the longer you've got it on, the darker it goes. So I wouldn't normally make it that dark. That was a mistake. But yeah, as far as going grey, I totally get it. I totally understand that there's nothing wrong with being grey. Maybe I'm just a vain bugger. I don't know. I don't like grey hair. I'm entitled to my opinion. I do not like grey hair. Maybe when I'm a bit older, an old man, then I will, but I'm not a fan of grey hair. So I'm going to continue to dye it as long as I want to do it. But trust me, it will not be as dark ever again, he says, hopefully. ZX Renew, you did really well with your charity live stream. Well done, sir. Well, thanks very much, ZX. But trust me, it was not me. It was everybody. It was a massive collective effort. It would not have been possible. And as I says, without Panther, supporting me for the whole 12 hours, he was absolutely dynamite. Del Boy, lying beastard. I don't want to swear. This was actually my first, but I so enjoyed myself I couldn't stop. I was just so buzzing, the questions just sparked answers. Listen guys, you're naturals and made me feel welcome, and with the friends in the room it just became a time I will never forget. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You can tell how nervous I was. Listen to how many times I said, very much so. Honestly, Del, you were the person that really, absolutely everybody was awesome, but you just stood out. I think because you told me how nervous you were, and after we had you on, I was speaking to Panther and I thought Del was like a natural, an absolute natural. And you know what you're saying there, you were buzzing, and it was, it became something that you'd never forget. That's absolutely awesome. That was why I wanted you guys to take part in something. It was something special, and I thought it's nice that everybody who wants to take part can take part, and then that way you can see you played your own part of it. But honestly, Dale, you're an absolute natural. It was a privilege to have you on, and as I've said before, and I extend that to everybody, if anyone wants to take part in a Me and My Son Chums Talk Pish, then please put your comment down below. Just let me know. Let me know if you fancy joining me. I mean, quite happy to just have it myself and one person, whatever, or if you want Panther in as well, or Mr. Lacosa, just give me a shout. I wouldn't have too many people in. I think it would start to get a wee bit noisy. I mean, it's possible we could give it a go with 4 people. You know, as I said, I mean, my son chums talk pish with 4 of us. So if you want to take part in it, put your comments down below. That's what I do like to think, that my channel is something a wee bit different from 99% of channels. I'm not really aware of any other YouTube channels, certainly not any retro based channels or retro gaming based channels where they actively encourage like listeners to take part. But you know, yeah, I know it's I do know it's a YouTube channel, but I do, for me, it's a place where I can hang out with friends. Yeah, 99% of the time it's me just talking to the camera like I'm doing at the moment, but I've made so many good friends, and you know, that money we raised, that just proves what an absolutely awesome bunch this community is, you know, really. So like I says, it's nice if you know, to involve everybody, and you know, to have somebody on and chatting to them is just completely epic. So anyway, Dale, thanks again, buddy. Like I says, you were an absolute dynamite. You were perfect, absolutely perfect at it. Ox, just realised the charity fund has hit 1k. Woohoo! Yep, absolutely awesome, Neil. Brilliant. Lactobacillus Prime, or Lactobacillus Prime, I think I should say. It was a great day, thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you, Mark, and again, you were fantastic. Gadget UK 164, the 12-hour stream was great, really enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much, Chris. Again, Chris, if you ever want to come on to one of my videos, you're more than welcome. The Highlander fish is fantastic, especially with chips, brown sauce and salt. I saw him in Newcastle about 2 years ago. He's brilliant. Misplaced Childhood is one of my favourite albums. Fish is a lyrical genius. Yeah, you'll not hear any disputes from me about that. Fish is epic. Like I said, I think I've seen him. I think it's 3 times I've seen him, and it's always at Christmas time. And I was lucky enough to see him do the Misplaced Childhood album, which again is one of my favourite albums. Superb. Down the rabbit hole for the Friday Waffle. Hi Alan, we were watching a DVD with commentary on it, and I have often wondered, do you think it would be good or bad to have an option in a game where the developers could give you a commentary while you play? Well, you know what, Kev, that's an absolutely fantastic idea. You get it on DVDs. I mean, I went through a phase when I was buying DVDs all the time. I would always go for the director's cut. And you know what? I couldn't tell you. I don't think I've ever listened to a director's cut. But I do know that lots of people like it. Some of my mates, you know, they'll watch it. And I mean, it is interesting. And I think, yeah, it would be pretty cool. I don't know how it would work. I suppose you would have to have, you maybe reach a certain level or reach a certain point in the game, a certain location, or just something that triggers it, and then you get a voiceover. So yeah, any game developers that's watching this, there's one to think about. You know, it would be really, it would be pretty cool to be playing like Last of Us and then hearing a sort of, you know, a maker's commentary. So really good idea, Kev. Secondly, I have a friend with a pinball machine, and he considers 3D printers a godsend, but I confess I have no real use for such a thing. How about yourself? You know what, I can't say I've got any real interest in them. I think they're really expensive to run. I think what you can print is pretty limited. I mean, you know, when they first came out, you know, you thought, oh, could I print a computer? Could I print this? Could I print that? Technically it's only really able to print like parts for something. And I suppose, you know, if you're like a, you know, your mate's got a pinball machine, or you want to make specific things, then I suppose a 3D printer is a really cool thing to have. I don't see it being mass market at the moment. I don't see you saying, oh, I'm just going to, I don't know, print off a full, you know, a model, whatever. And from what I can gather as well, is when it prints, it's all like the one colour. So, you know, you couldn't print a model and have it different colours. Maybe you can, I don't know. Maybe some of the more expensive ones do that. But no, I can't say, Kev, I can't say there's ever been any interest or any reason for me to actually own one. But you know, they are what they are, and you know, the fact that you can print off something in 3D is pretty damn cool. Thirdly, I've often thought submarine games are an underappreciated area. What's your favourite submarine game? You know what, Kev? There's a game, and I've mentioned this loads of times. It was a game that came out, I'm guessing late 70s. I'm talking probably 1978, 1979. It might have even been about 1980, sort of when Galaxy and Phoenix came out. And it was kind of like a scramble game. You know, you moved your little submarine was at the left, and you moved from left to right, and it was underwater. And I can just remember like the little depth charges with the little kind of, you know, the chains and then the wee mines hanging down below it. Then there was also little kind of submarines that would come towards you. It was quite kind of garish colours. Now I've asked on multiple occasions, could anybody remember the game? A few people have came up with ideas. Now, is there one? Is it Mariner? I can't remember exactly. And none of them that has been suggested to me, from what I can gather, was the game that I was thinking of. Maybe it was. Maybe my kind of brain's a bit mushed. It's possible. But I did like that. I mean, it was basically, it was Scramble. The other submarine games, trying to think, you've got In the Hunt, which is that a Neo? No, it's not a Neo Geo game. I think it was done by In the Hunt. It was done by SNK, who went on to make. I was going to say Metal Gear Solid. They went on to do Metal Slug. The graphics are very, very similar. Trying to think any other submarine games. No, I'm getting muddled up with helicopter games. Can't think of any other ones. I mean, there was a game called Silent Service, I beg your pardon, on the C64 and Atari. I never really got into it, but I know quite a few mates used to love it. It was kind of a strategy game. I think, was it Microprose did that? I'm sure it was. And finally, you may have told us before, but I forgot. What was the very first handheld console you ever owned, and what were the first games you played in it? Well, the first handheld game I ever owned was, I've got it still upstairs. It's not the original one that I bought, but it's, you know, it's the same game, and it was what the hell was it called? Oh, it was a little. It was by Grandstand. I was going to say Invader from Space. That was a different one. And yeah, you basically controlled this little thing along the bottom, and the little Space Invader wouldn't move down, it would just move left and right, dropping bombs, and then you had a little sort of UFO went along the top as well. So that was the kind of first handheld I owned. But the first handheld that you could put games into was the Game Boy. I got that pretty much when it got released in the UK. I remember I can still see the box. I don't have it anymore. I mean, I don't even know what happened to my Game Boy. I think, in fact, I remember selling it many years ago. So I got the Game Boy, and what did I get? I think Tetris was. It came bundled with Tetris. I'm trying to remember, what was the first game I bought? Was it Super Mario? Was it Super Mario Land? I don't think it was. You know what? Something niggles me that it was Return of the Gator, which is an absolutely stonking little pinball game. It's got multiple levels, really good. The other early games I got Shanghai, which is like Mahjong, basically. I did get Super Mario Land Track and Field, I think I got as well, but I'm sure it was Return of the Gator. I think that was the very first game I got. Ox is saying Andrew Fisher is Merman or Yak on Yak Yak and Lemon 64. Yeah, I do know who Andrew Fisher is. I don't know him to talk to. I've never really communicated with the guy at all, but I am aware of him. Lactobacillus Prime, there we go, that was better. Sanction indeed was more of a tech demo than a game, almost. I reckon if they had implemented one view, it might have been less of a learning curve. Amazing when the programmers have come up with it though. Yeah, I mean, Gary, I beg your pardon, Gary, Gaz Liddon, he was talking about Sanction. He says he wasn't a fan of it. I think he thought it was overrated as well. He thought it was too complicated, and that's why I've never really liked it, because it's a game that it does sound, it's got an amazing loading track, but the game itself, it was too cluttered. I don't know why they had the overview thing in it. Delboy 3K1, I have another question for Alan. When you consider all the great athletes, the Olympic champions, our top footballers, all of the hours they have put in and diets they have to follow to become top of their game, I have to ask, how many hours have you put in to be that bad at China Minor? Oh, you kill me, you really do. I think I'm quite good at China Minor. Honestly, I know it's a standing joke about me playing China Minor, but how many of you have actually given it a go? Honestly, I mean, you might get on a wee bit better because you've seen me doing the first few levels, but seriously, the whole reason I started playing China Minor was because I always deemed it an impossible game, even to get off the first level. It is, as I demonstrate every single week, it is rock hard. Absolutely, I wouldn't say it's not impossible, but it's a fiendish game. But you should give it a go. Sorry, I had to put that bit of pathos into my joke, and you entertain us so well every Sunday. Thanks, Alan, for the fun. You're welcome, Dale. I always look forward to, I've said that before, I always look forward to Sunday nights, because Sundays are crap. I hate Sundays because, you're going back to work the next day, but having the live stream is great fun. I always look forward to it. Wee Bob, great waffle, and I enjoyed both this and the charity stream, listening and watching along while drawing. Brilliant. Guests and just all round great day. Question for next waffle. Do you think that there were any old bit games that should have been made into movies, assuming they would be decent translations on the screen? Give us one that you think would be epic, and if possible one that would be just weird. For example, Monty on the Run might have made a great animated feature where he's Chucky Egg. How the heck do you make that into a movie? Jurassic Park style birds chasing a guy in a weird hat. Welcome to Chucky Eggland. Games that could have been made into a film. I mean, most games are pretty tame. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know. I assume we're talking about 8-bit games, maybe 16-bit games. I mean, games like Lemmings wouldn't have really made it. One game that I wouldn't mind seeing, turned into a film, and there have been a few, and to be fair, they've been pretty awful, is Resident Evil 4. That's my favourite Resident Evil game. Resident Evil 4 is also one of my favourite, I call it current gen, a GameCube. To me, they're fairly recent. So I think if it was done properly, you consider the characters you've got, and if it was done properly with the proper budget and special effects, Resident Evil 4 could be quite an epic game. And you know what? Even, dare I say, Last of Us. Last of Us, to me, is the most kind of filmatic game that I've ever played. The acting is absolutely spot on. This, the voiceovers, etc., are really, really good. So, yeah, maybe Last of Us. It says Resident Evil 4. 8-bit games. I don't know. I was going to say Way of the Exploding Fists. I wouldn't mind a China Minor film. That would be epic. Not. Can you imagine China Minor as a game? Can you actually imagine that? A guy wearing a Chinese hat having to jump over things and just dying all the time. That would be utterly bizarre. There's, I think, pretty much, imagine Manic Miner the film. Yeah, that would be odd. But anyway, listen, Bob, thanks very much for your question, as always. Delboy again. Oh, I have a question again. Weird how that happens. What game would you put in room 101 and why? Have fun all. What game would I put in room 101? Probably quite a few. I think I would probably put... I don't know, I'd probably put a Zelda game in it. I don't know, there's just something about Zelda games that I can't be bothered with. Even the latest one, and that'll shock people. Is it Breath of the Wild or something it's called? I only own the game, you know, after all. Yeah, I think, I don't know, I'm not a fan of, I've made it perfectly clear, I'm not a fan of games that you've got to craft stuff. In fact, you know what, I'm not going to pick Zelda. I would pick one over that. I'd probably go for No Man's Sky. I know it got a lot of criticism because, to be fair, it was their own fault. They hyped it beyond belief, and then when it came out, it just did not live up to expectations. From what I gather, they've done an absolutely shitload of updates in it, and they've not charged anything for it, and they've turned it into a really good game. But it's a game for people who like to kind of dig holes and make things and collect gems and collect herbs and all that kind of stuff. I just cannot be arsed with that. You know, give me a game of Galaxian, give me a game of Berserk any day of the week. I can't be arsed having to build things. And what annoys me is when you build something and then you run out and you've got to build it again. I'm just not into that at all. I know Mr. Lacozer does like these kind of games, but yeah, I would probably put No Man's Sky into Room 101. Colin Jones, no apologies necessary regarding games, and the live stream worked really well and got an excellent result at the end. Absolutely, a yearly event would be a good idea. Now, I have been thinking about that. I mean, I could do it every year. You know, I wouldn't have a problem doing it every year. I don't think. I don't know. I wouldn't really be comfortable about doing it for money. I know the money, every single penny is going to charity, but I don't want to put people under that kind of pressure. I don't think people should be paying to watch me playing a game or to do something like that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's leave it until next year and we can have a chat about it. But I certainly would do it again. I mean, it was fantastic. It was really tiring. I was surprised at how tired I was, actually. But it was great fun. So you never know, Colin. You never know, mate. The loader in Sanction is interesting in another way. You could stop the tape, rewind it, press play, and it would pick up loading from where it left off. Really? Never knew that. I listened to the full music many times this way. QuidX also had an excellent loading music. I have this in Sanction on my Tapiona, lets you load tap files as if loading from tape. Ah, very good, very good. Mark Lactobacillus Prime's asking about Discord channel. Yep, if you're not on the Discord channel, you can go and check it out. I've got to say, it's really good. I mean, it's a Meme Meister Discord channel, but it's a fantastic way of, you know, if you guys like to talk, and I know you do because I see you every Sunday, and any live stream I do, there's always a lot of banter. So go into the Discord channel. It's a place to hang out and just kind of chat. So it's really, really good. Milthy Swinbuckle, hello on game. Meme Meister, question for next waffle. Although I don't buy modern games, I was watching a video on YouTube talking about the new Mortal Kombat. In this, it went on about how if you want to unlock various bits and bobs to improve your character and gaming experience, you would have to either put in hundreds of hours, apparently an unnecessary drawn out slog done purposely, or buy the abilities with actual cash. Not a fan of that. This for me is something I can't see myself ever doing, as once I've bought a game, then unless it's a massive add-on, a shit ton of extra levels for example, then I'm not going to spend money on something I've already bought. My question is, do you think that this form of gaming will become the norm and a necessity with modern gaming? Personally, I'm dead against it, but perhaps that's because I'm a little too old school when it comes to video games. Maybe a change of ways is needed, as in-game buying will become the future. That said, I won't actually buy or even probably play these types of games anytime soon. So in truth, I'm just having a good old waffle. You know what, Milfy, you and me both. I mean, I think what we need to understand is, well, we are old school. You know, back then, you paid your money, you got the full game. Yeah, you had to unlock extras, you had to unlock levels and that kind of stuff, which is fine. But you didn't have to play it for hours and hours and hours and hours. I think was it not the same in some Street Fighter game? You had to play it for hours, or there was some game, I can't remember what it was, and you literally had to play it for thousands of hours to unlock stuff, which is just ridiculous. Now there's two ways to look at it. You could be like you and I and say, well, hang on a second, I've bought the game, therefore why should I have to pay for it? Now if they brought out the game, you know, you paid for the disc and then you wanted to buy extras but you downloaded them, then I would probably be slightly less bothered. I certainly wouldn't buy them anyway, but I would probably accept that a wee bit more. I think where it gets difficult for you and I to kind of accept it is where we've already, the data that we're essentially buying is already on the disc that we already own, and I think that's why we find it difficult. It'd be a bit like, I don't know, going to Tesco and buying messages, and in a secret compartment you've got eggs and bacon and crisps, but you've not actually paid for them. But to save you going to the shop, what you can do is you can open up the zip, you can take out the crisps, and you can pay the money. So I think it's more a question of it's how they store these things. I think because, like I said, it's on the disc that we've bought and paid for, it doesn't really sit well with us. But if you kind of look upon it as, you know, that's just the way they do it, that's the way they store it, then I suppose you can kind of accept that a bit more. But you know what, I think it's here for to stay. You know, all these downloadable content, and you know, FIFA have been doing it for years. You know, you hear stories of like guys' accounts getting hacked, and you know, I was talking to a friend, I can't remember who it was. In fact, it was a person at work actually. It was a girl at work, and she was mentioning that her son has spent something like £200-300 on footballers for FIFA, and I just can't get my head around that. You know, you can get the game second hand for like £1.50 at CEX. I just can't imagine spending quadruple, 6-7 times what you've paid for the game to unlock things. But I think it's here to stay. You know, it's definitely here to stay, and I think you and I, Milty, are just going to have to accept it, or like as you say, just ignore it. So thanks for your question. And lastly, Panther UK, the parallax footage will never get old. Cracking waffle, mate. The other bloke seems like a top geezer. So for the next one, hang on a wee second. Now, there's two questions here. Why do you think 30 odd years later, with all the technological advancements, we are still in love with 8 bits? This goes with what we were saying about the SID chip making the C64 a success, because I would say from the late 90s onwards, the SID was a major factor in keeping the C64 scene alive. I mean, it's nostalgia. There's very few, if 8-bit machines had never existed back in the day and they came along now, I don't think you or I would want to own one. You would just think this is a real shit computer. It's a nostalgia, but it's not just a nostalgia, because I genuinely do enjoy playing some C64 games. You know, yeah, a lot of them I don't think I've worn particularly well. Some of the favourite games like Bruce Lee and Summer Games, and you know, I loved them back in the day, and I wouldn't really play them now because I think they've aged pretty badly. So it's twofold. There is a massive amount of nostalgia. When I play some of these games, it just takes me back to a certain time in my life. You know, 17 years old, still living with my parents, world, you know, had my life ahead of me. But I do genuinely enjoy still playing them. But like I said, I think you had to be there to appreciate it, because back then the whole computer thing was just kicking off, and you know, from the ZX81 to the Spectrum to the VIC-20 to the C64 to the Atari ST, Commodore Amiga, it was so exciting. You had all these leaps in sort of technology, and it was just so exciting to be alive. I feel so privileged to have been around when these came out. So yeah, you know, it still excites me. Playing computer games still excites me, and that's why I still love playing. You know, it will never be lost in me just how amazing the fact that I can play an arcade game in my kitchen, the proper arcade game, just absolutely wicked. So yeah, I think the nostalgia is a big part of it, but I genuinely do enjoy playing them. And secondly, seeing as you've been doing the Friday Waffle for several years now, try 6 years, Chris. I think my very first waffle was in 2014. My channel started kind of late. I think it was November 2013. You know what? The man to tell you would be Brian. Brian knows more about my channel than I'll know about it, because he was there at the very, very beginning. Excuse me. But I'm sure it was 2014. It's certainly, I started them in 2014 anyway. I was doing them then, so I've been doing these now for 6 years, which is quite frankly terrifying. 6 times 52, what's that, 312 waffles? Dearie me, what would that be? Even if I was doing an hour of waffle, that's 300 hours, which is 100 is 4 times 3, that's 12, 100 hours is going to be, so 3, let me get this right. What did I say? That's 300. So one. No, wait a minute. Hang on a sec. I've done 300 hours. Now 24 hours. 25, 4, 12. 12 days. You could listen to me for 12 days solid. That is a sobering thought. Absolutely insane. Anyway, seeing as you've been doing the Friday Waffle for several years, do you ever get sick of answering the same questions that you get asked over and over again, year in, year out, over the years you've been doing the waffle? No, I don't. I don't get sick of answering, because there's not a finite number of questions that you can ask, but it does get harder and harder and harder to come up with fresh stuff, and that's why I do kind of struggle with fresh stuff to talk about. I generally now I talk about what I've been up to. Sometimes I don't even talk about video games, and I do rely on you lot to ask me questions. But no, I don't, because you could not make 300 waffles and not enjoy it. You could make 300 waffles and not enjoy it. So no, I don't. Unless I got asked the same question. If I got asked the same question from a previous week, I'd probably give a very abridged version of it. But not at all. Like I said, I love talking about video games, so I certainly wouldn't get bored. So anyway, listen guys, that's 42 minutes. I think that's quite enough. I'm going to go and get this uploaded just now. I just really want to say again, thanks to everybody that supports me. This Sunday, I've decided I'm going to be doing a US Gold special, and it's going to be all games released in the year 1985 US Gold. So usual time, 7 o'clock till 9 on Sunday night. I hope you can join me then. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend, guys, and as always, thank you very, very much for watching.